All right, everybody, Quilt Marine here. So we're moving on in our Bargello quilt, okay? Hopefully you did the history because I tried to do the history and it didn't turn out so well. All right, so we put our strips together, our 2.5-inch strips from a jelly roll that we have. And this is what we have right here. Part of it, okay? There's another half of it that I've already pre-done that I'll show you later on, okay? Just want to keep you up, and our new quilters who are on self-quarantine, or if they're on, was it self-lockdown or something like that, and you're starting on a new hobby, quilting, guys, this is what we got. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we need to fold this in half. So what I have is I have 20 strips here, all right? So I'm going to fold it in half, and you want to match this up. So look, remember, when you're putting these strips together, look at that, look at the edge. None of them, no two are the same, okay? You try to get them the same on one end and look what happens on the other end, okay? So do not go by the edges to think that they're lined up, because they won't be, okay? All right, so now you don't have to do 10, you can do 5, you could do whatever, you know, your room, your rules. We're gonna fold this in half. All right, so when we fold it in half, we want to do right sides facing because we're making a tube, okay? All right, look, it's kind of counterintuitive to what quilters do, but don't worry, it's going to work out later, okay? So, I'm going to fold this in half here, line up my edges here, try to match up the center. I put a mark on here, so I know what the center is, and it's going to match up evenly. Okay, so match that up. Get my edge here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this up, okay? So that means we gotta go to the machine and send some stitches downrange, okay? Now, thread is up to you, all right? You know, I'm a big time multicolored thread guy, so I love using multicolored threads. That's just a thing that I do. But use what you want. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm throwing a 1/4-inch seam allowance here. Everything else I pinned, okay? So don't, you can pin too, all right? I didn't pin here, just in the interest of saving a little bit of time here. But I pinned, okay? I forgot how good pinning was and accurate it is. I'm not a non-pinning person anymore, okay? I like pinning now. All right, so now, let's close that up. Now it's closed up, okay? So what we want to do is, now we're going to be making cuts, all right? But first we need to clean up our edges. Look at that, look how bad that edge is. So I want to flip this over because I want to see all of the edge. Okay, so now that we have it over, so look at this. All right, so we need to clean this up. All right, we want a nice clean edge here. All right, so I'm just gonna put now. All right, first let's go ahead and get this on one of our lines here on my cutting mat. Okay, try to get it as close as possible to being on the line. All right, so that you know you're straight here. All right, I'm straight up here. Now I want to clean this edge up. So, all right. So you don't want to cut here because then you'll be short. See how you'll be short here? All right. You want a nice straight edge along all your pieces. All right. So it looks like on a 4-inch line there, we'll get a nice good cut here. Seems like a lot. Let's move this up just like a 4 1/4. All right. 4 1/4. Let's go 4 1/2. All right, 4.5 looks perfect right there. So from right there is where I'll cut. As soon as I can. All right, cutter here. Let me get on this side. Get that out of the way. All right, now let's go on the other end here. Let's clean this edge up too. Let's flip it over and see what we're working with. Now that we have a straight edge here, we can take it to one of these lines here. And let's make sure this is straight along this line on the bottom. Okay. Now, let's see what we're working with here. Okay. Looks straight to me. We're gonna get a cut here. Don't want to waste any fabric though, so we're gonna want to push it out as far as we can. Let's go one more here. All right. 7.5, 7.5. There we go. Let's pull the trigger. All right, now we got clean edges. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our cuts. So on a piece like this, the sizes usually go from 3 inches, 2.5, 2, 1.5, and then a 1 inch, okay? But I'm gonna go with a 3.5, a 3, 2.5, a 2, 1.5, and then a 1, okay? So if that makes sense, that's gonna be the width that we're cutting at, all right? So up here, a 3.5, okay? A 3, 2.5, right? 2, and so on and so on, okay? This is what your strips are gonna look like when you get done cutting them, all right? So that's what we're going for. Now the number is totally dependent upon how much you've cut off on the edge. Sometimes you won't get as many cuts as you want, all right? So just to be safe, I'm gonna go with 3 3.5s, 3 3s, 3 2.5s, and so on and so on. But the 1 inch, I'm only gonna do 1, okay? Just to see it, just to make sure I have space to do the other side as well, if it makes sense, okay? If I do 4, I could probably go 4 with a piece this long. So that'd be a 2.5 and a 2.5 on each side. Then, a 3.5 and a 3.5, and then a 3, all right, and then a 2.5, and it works its way in. You'll see how it works out once we lay it out, okay? So let's start off first with a 3.5, okay? Let's start with a 3.5 cut. Let's go ahead and put our fabric right there on the edge. Make sure we're lined up there. All right. So we're gonna go 3.5, right? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 and a half. 1, 2, 3 and a half. And then we're gonna cut, all right? Let's go with another one, all right? So it's already at the half mark, right? So 1, 2, 3. And we'll cut, all right? So you at least know you'll have 2 3.5s. All right, let's go with a 3. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it safe for right now. So I'm gonna do 2s, and then what I have left over, we'll see what we can manage out of that, okay? So we've got 2 3.5s right now, right? So now we're gonna go with what? A 3, right? Because we did our 3.5, so we're gonna go to 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll do 2 3s for right now, okay? We'll come back later if we have the fabric, but I want you to see what we're cutting for, okay? 3. Let's go to another 3. 1, 2, 3. 23. All right, then what's next? 2.5, right? So let's go with a 2.5. 1, 2.5. I'm going with 2. 2 of each, right? For right now. 1, 2.5. All right, that's 1. Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 18. And then from here we go to a 2, right? Now we're gonna go with a 2. 1, 2. 2 of these. So 16. Another one. 1, 2. 14. Now we're going to do a 1.5, all right? So that's 1.5. I'm going to go with 2 of these. 1.5. On my Arteza here. Oh no, this is not my Arteza. This is my Omnigrid, I think. Yeah. All right, so here we go. That's 1.5. Let's go with another 1.5. Right there on 11. And then we're going to do a 1. So the 1 will be my center. Okay, that's going to be my center strip. Okay, sorry about that. Let's make sure this is aligned again here. All right. And this 1.5. And now we're going to go at our 1. A nice clean cut on our 1. There we go. All right, so we have this piece here, okay? We're gonna continue on with this piece we left over, but I just wanna show you what we're working with, okay? So we've done 1 of each, right? And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna lay them out for you. So next thing we're gonna do is, let's just fold them inside, back to the right side, okay? But you're gonna have to pick a spot, okay? So I got the green at the top, so I'm gonna stay with the green at the top. All right, fold them back inside out, right? That's a 3.5, right? I'm gonna fold that back out. I'm gonna fold this one, 3.5. So they're gonna be on the outsides, right? And then this is the 3. I'm gonna fold that back inside to the right side. All right, 3. 2.5. 2. 1.5. Okay, you can let them, I mean, once you see your sizes, it's okay. You can let them lie over on the side, because all you're going to do is just go in the reverse the other way, okay? That's my 1.5, all right? And then we have my 1, which is obvious, right? Fold that inside. And then we're going to go right back the other way, okay? 1.5. Fold it inside out. Just remember where you're folding at, okay? I try to remember my green on orange to the back. And then when you lay it down, it's going to sit right. It'll sit right, okay? And then we're going back the other way. All right, so I got my 3, and then my 3.5, right? So we got 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1. All right, and it goes the same way. 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Okay. So as you can see, it's starting to, so as you can see, if you can see forward, all we're going to be doing is unpeeling and then laying it out. But with all the yellow, I was kind of worried about it not matching up, but it's starting to show itself a little bit, okay? So we've got still this piece right here that we can work with. So I'm going to add to it, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut more pieces out, and then we're going to try to get as much as we can out of what we have left over. So that means I'm going to cut at least 2 more of each measurement so that it goes equally on each side. And then when we come back, you'll see the whole thing laid out. We'll start unstitching, yeah, because it's got to unstitch, all right? So if you got a handy dandy, what is that thing called? The unstitcher thing? I don't know. It's an unstitcher. I'm renaming it, but I know the name of it. It's a ripper, stitch ripper. Yeah, that. It's been a while. You gotta forgive me, okay? And then we'll start unstitching some pieces, and then your eyes are gonna be like, oh, okay, now I see where we're going, okay? So when we come back, we'll knock that out. Okay, so this is what happened. So that piece didn't allow me to have equal amounts for both sides. So what I went with was 2 cuts. I went with 2 cuts of 3.5, 2 cuts of 3, and then I did 2 cuts of 1.5, okay? So you'll see if you look at it, all right, there's 2 1.5s, okay? There's 2 3s, and then there's 2 3.5s, okay? But the good thing about a Bargello that's really, really cool that I like is it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to work out even, okay? It's totally up to you, your quilt room, your quilt rules, okay? I could have went with all 1s. I could have went with all 2.5s. It doesn't matter. It's just the drill instructor in me that wants to be even on each side, okay? But you could have went with 1 on each side, 1 of each cut on each side. It's still gonna work out, okay? Once we lay it out and you see the pattern and how the wave forms, then you'll be like, oh man, I can change this up any kind of way I want. And yes, you can, all right? You don't have to follow the rules, all right? Your fabric, your thread, your rules, okay? So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna unstitch in order, okay? So the thing on this is, all right, if you got dogs running around or kids running around, you wanna keep the order because once these things come off the table, it's gonna be a pain trying to get them back in the pattern that you want or the order that you want, okay? So I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I do to keep it, because you know, Daria's tail, she goes by and she'll sweep everything off. Anything that's hanging off the table, that tail's taking it off. So I'll show you how to keep things in order, memorize them, and then we'll see how it works out, okay? So when we come back, we'll start laying them out, unstitching and laying them out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, it's only fabric and it's only thread.